Greetings, gamers, and welcome to the next episode of Arkham Asylum. However, as we go through this part, I am not alone. Joining me for this episode is my good friend Shelby, who was responsible for my ability to play this game in the first place.
Right you are, sir.
I gotta say though, man, seriously, thanks again for letting me tap into your little Steam library there, because I need these games in my life.
No, I get it. I mean, I played the hell out of these games back when they first came out, like on PS3 for me personally, but
yeah,
you know, it's an incredible series. So, you know, it's a must play. I mean, not only for any Batman fan, but for any
game fan in
of
general.
A good game in general. I mean, this is the first game in the first series alone that you actually feel like Batman. Right,
because I mean,
the other previous Batman games, as I understand it, they didn't really make you feel that way. Like, it didn't give you this sort of, I guess, raw experience. Like, it's just it makes you feel like you're under his cowl, basically.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
that's all there is to it.
I've played almost every Batman game that has been invented since, like, the Nintendo days, like early Nintendo days, and none of them really quite capture the feel that the Arkham series captures.
Oh no, this it was a revolution, is what this series was.
It really was.
Is a one of a kind team. I mean, just one story after the next one. The next one being even more just mind-boggling as the previous.
Oh yeah.
Just when you think it can't get any better,
they throw in all these different twists that you never would have seen coming in a billion years.
Right.
I mean, it may sound like we're paid to talk about how great the series is, but that's really not the case.
It's just a matter of giving credit where it's due. I mean,
I've heard people. I know someone who hated Batman throughout the entire creation of Batman. He randomly decided to pick up the Arkham series, and it turned him into a Batman fan. That is how good these games are.
I was myself when I first played Arkham Asylum. I wasn't like big on Batman or anything. I didn't really think nothing of it. I played this game. I played through it. I started, just getting into it, and that was it for me. I became a Batman fan because of this game, I can truthfully say.
Because, I mean, it dives into so much detail, not just about Batman himself, but about his entire universe, that even some shows don't cover that thoroughly.
Right, and when you're into the Asylum, when you're picking up, like, say, these audio tapes and solving riddles and things like that, it gives you all this insight and history and backstory on all these villains and all these characters. These personally favorable to me because they're also interesting. All these characters that he's interacted with, both heroic and villainous characters, and it's very, very interesting to just sit and that's one of those things where it's like in a game where you don't just head right on into the action. You stand there and just listen, or you just read something.
Exactly.
Because it's one of those little things that I enjoy, because learning about all these characters, like the Joker, for example, the audio tapes, and reading his biography, it's like it leaves you asking 1,000 or more questions about him. Like I really want to learn more about the Joker. And Just for example, and just about everyone in the asylum that's been locked up.
Joker's already one of those characters that a lot of people know very well, but even Arkham touches things about him that even I never really understood or knew that well. Like even his relationship with Harley Quinn and how he was playing that woman from the very moment they met.
See, the way I see it is, you said earlier that people know a lot about the Joker.
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of people think they know a lot about the Joker.
Exactly. They think they do. Because every version of him is played a little differently, but really, he's hard to fully capture.
He's a true enigma as far as figuring out just who exactly this character is. Like, and just from the, I mean, it's obviously a fact that without the Joker, there probably wouldn't be a Batman.
Oh,
and without
definitely.
Batman, there wouldn't be a Joker. I mean, they're the yin and yang of each other.
Exactly. There's a reason that he's Batman's greatest foe.
Right. Like, I mean, of course, you have your Penguins and your Scarecrows and Two-Faces and all this other stuff, but Joker is just obviously being the primary antagonist of this game. It's you can very easily pick up why he's Batman's greatest
I mean,
foe. You know,
even Scarecrow can't quite play with the Batman's mind in the way that Joker can.
Right. And you learn that even more so in the later Arkham games, but in this one is it starts lighting the fire for all this, you know, the blaze of storytelling that it's gonna provide for you.
I mean, I plan on, if it's at all possible, I plan on going through the entire series of Arkham, so you all eventually get to see exactly how twisted Joker gets. If you think he's done with Arkham Asylum, was just the tipping point.
This is nothing compared to like Arkham City and then his effect on Batman and Arkham Knight, which you haven't not played yourself, so I'm refused to spoil any part of it for you.
It's the last game I have to play, and I'm looking forward to myself because considering how City ended, like crap.
Yeah, because like I said, this is what got me into Batman, this Arkham Asylum, and then once Arkham City came out, I was all about it. I was obsessed with it. And once I got through with that and all the, you know, extra downloadable stuff and all that other stuff, and once Arkham Knight was announced, I beat that game the day after it came out.
A dark reflection of the Batman, Prometheus was raised by criminals who were gunned down by policemen right in front of him. Dedicating his life to destroying the law, Prometheus traveled the world and trained in the ways of murder. Clad in an armored suit that maximizes his natural skills, he is a master assassin whose physical and mental abilities rival the Batman's own.
But yeah, no, that's it. This series is a true work of art. That's about as simple as I can put it.
It really is. I mean, I've played, as I was saying, I've played a whole lot of superhero-related games.
Right. And
while some of them are like really damn good, I don't think there's one that comes close to making me feel like that character that Arkham does. I mean...
Yeah, I know what game you're talking about, too, I believe.
Yeah, like, Spider-Man 2 is pretty close to how it feels. But even then, I mean...
My family's killer stood in front of me. Years of therapy have deemed him sane. I was proud to see him walk free. In exchange for his liberty, the state required only a signature. He talked about wanting to walk in a park, how he longed to feel fresh air on his face. And then he took my father's fountain pen and killed my secretary. As he was subdued, he screamed out, pleading for forgiveness, for pity. But I had none. I watched as guards beat him to a stain on the floor.
It just captures something that is unexplainable. I've never really felt like I was suited up. The first time I played Arkham City first. I dove into that first because I didn't know the order of the games yet.
Right.
And I was Bruce Wayne, and I was told to leap from one building to another, and I'm like, there's no way. And that rush that hit me as I was actually doing it, I'm like, oh my god, I've never felt that playing a game before. I actually felt like I was freaking making that leap myself.
Right, the leaps and bounds and the gliding and things like that that Arkham City brought into it, that really kicked it up a hell of a notch. And then of course in Arkham Knight you have access to the Batmobile.
Yeah.
But even then I find myself, and that it may just be me just having an excuse to not do it because I'm not that great driving the Batmobile. But the feeling you get from leaping off a building and gliding and doing the dive bombing into more gliding and things like that, just the rush that you feel, just it's something else.
It's the free roaming aspect. You literally have total freedom.
Yeah, because you see Batman in the movies and things like that, and you're like, man, what if we had a game like that where you could just glide all over the place and
exactly,
and then now you can actually you can
finally freaking do that.
Yeah,
I mean, if this gaming studio made other games for other superheroes, we would finally have like a legit library of games.
Right. Imagine if they made a Superman game or a Spider-Man game or a Justice League game in general.
Oh my god!
There's just endless possibilities. I mean,
Superman to this day has yet to have the game that doesn't suck, and I think it's because he hasn't had a gaming company that was. You can tell Rocksteady are Batman fans.
Oh yeah, no, they probably know the comics like the back of their hands.
And that's why it's so good, because they're fans creating something. If it's forced from some company that's just like, oh, let's milk some money, then it's not going to be nearly the same kind of quality.
It'd be like the same thing as like just a old Hollywood product, like just something a money grab. Like no, this is art.
This has heart behind it.
They knew exactly. They knew what they were doing when they made this game. As you can see here, just the attention to detail with these riddles.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, they just. That's just one of thousands of examples.
And that's the thing behind. I mean, each game with their riddles, there's more and more added.
Right. And hell, this is only the first of the series.
Yeah.
I mean, you can imagine. So if you haven't played the other games, I mean, you can just imagine. If
it's painstaking for a player to go through and find every little detail, just imagine how much work actually went into actually putting it in the game. And that's on top of all the downloadable content that's along with it.
Right. It's insane. It's all the hats and props and everything off to these people because they knew exactly what they were doing, and they knew exactly what the fans of this character and of the entire series, whether it be animated, comic, whatever, they knew what fans wanted, and they delivered on it, and that's why this series and this game alone is so revered, because it's
just fantastic.
It's exactly what we wanted. Exactly. It's just this is a Batman experience, and you can say that without being biased or anything. This is the beginning of what it truly feels like to be Batman.
Yep. Exactly.
That was their goal and they
captured it. They even have Easter eggs around every corner attached to all the riddles and stuff. I mean, mentions of Metropolis itself happen all the time. I mean, it's part of the huge DC universe, which makes me wish that they would actually make other games this level of Batman,
Yeah, like I say, like if they made a Superman game, a Wonder Woman game, a Flash game, whatever, I mean, just there's endless possibilities with this.
Because I mean, it makes people want to learn more about the characters when they actually take so much time and effort into capturing how they are.
Right, like when you pick up like audio tapes.
Spring was a turning point, a new beginning, a glorious realization of my true destiny. My family's killer perished in an unfortunate accident. These animals cannot be cured. Like dogs, they only respond to discipline. And if that fails, then I was afraid that these accidents would have to continue.
Things like that of these characters in this game, like all the villains, like Scarecrow and Ivy, for example. I mean, it's interesting. You just sit and listen or read, and you want to. I want to learn more about literally every villain that the biography section covers in this game. Like that's why it makes me appreciate it, because I want to actually learn about these things and these people.
This game dove into a database of villains that I didn't know even existed.
I'll admit, all the biographies, by the time I unlocked them all, I hadn't heard of half of these people.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like,
Like the Great White Shark, I have never heard of that guy
right?
before.
Like, there are characters that are obvious, like Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, all those are people we know because they're displayed in every form of Batman media you've ever heard of.
Right.
But then
there are all these little kind of backseat villains that didn't really have that much of an impact on Batman or the show or anything itself, but
they're still interesting to read about.
Right. Like I believe wasn't Firefly one?
Firefly's one. There's Calendar Man.
Shark. Calendar Man. I mean, there's let's see. There's a rat catcher. I remember. I never heard of this guy before, but I mean,
they're all obscure, and that's what's great about learning about them, because it's part of what makes Batman who he is, because he's dealt with all these people.
Alright, so here we have Clayface. His story is initially an actor in horror films. Carlo went mad when he learned a classic film of his was to be remade with a different actor in lead role. He took on the mask of the film's villain Clayface and killed several of the remake's cast and crew before being stopped by Batman and Robin, of course. Later, Carlo joined the Mud Pack, an alliance of shape-changing, mutated villains who had subsequently used the name Clayface. While that group was defeated, Carlo tricked his allies and injected himself with the essences of several of them, becoming a superhuman imbued with the abilities to change shape, I hope I pronounced that word right, melt others into protoplasm and with a touch, and mimic the powers of heroes or villains he copies. So he is a little he's a copycat. So he is.
Basically he is. And see, like, that details like that, you're not going to get that in any other superhero game about your characters.
No, that's a whole, page worth of backstory about this character that you have.
It's essentially a Wikipedia of Batman.
Right. Yeah, here in the penitentiary where you can find Clayface walking around disguising himself as both, I believe, the Warden and Commissioner Gordon. So
the first time I saw that, I remember I was like, wait a minute, what the hell? Something ain't right.
I just want to point out something here. This guy in that cell, I don't know what his story is. I don't know who he is, or I guess he's just some random prisoner. I've always kind of wondered who that guy was. I wonder if he's if he represents somebody.
I'm sure he represents someone. I mean, they have a whole lot of friggin' psychos in these Arkham.
Right. But that's just another thing. That's probably why Asylum might be my favorite in the series, just because of these little things. It's just the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The atmosphere. It's just you're enclosed into this asylum.
Lunatics around every corner.
Yeah, there's nutcases and criminals and thugs and all kinds of, and the background noise, the Joker just echoing through the sound system and
constantly
just
taunting
you, and he's just the overall atmosphere is incredible. That's probably my favorite element about this game, is the pure atmosphere that it has.
I mean, it literally feels creepy as hell, and it's the kind of stuff he has to deal with on a daily basis.
Right, imagine if they had gotten a little more gritty with this game, it probably would have been a horror game.
Oh yeah, it could have easily been a horror game.
It could have gone that far, and I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have minded. I mean, it sounds like we're bowing down and kissing their feet. And I'm just giving credit. I'm an honest person. I'm giving credit where it's due.
If I thought there was anything horrible about it, I'd be the first to tell you.
No, I mean, if I were giving a full-on review of it, yeah, sure, I'd pick apart the faults and things like that, just the way the in this game, the way people's mouths don't move along with what they're saying. I mean, obviously,
sometimes there's some lip sync problems, yeah.
Right. But I mean, it's just little technical things, but as far as an overall game, it is a work of art, no doubt about it.
Storytelling, gameplay, control, it just all feels perfect. Alright, gamers, so this is where we're gonna wrap up for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed watching and listening to us give such praise, because that's what we do. But, stick around for the next one, because I am going to go through and make sure y'all see every single trophy that's available in the game. I'm sure Shelby will rejoin me for other videos if he wishes.
Oh yeah, love to.
So alright, later gamers, and until the next one.